So I already kind of a little bit talked about Chase Young's performance. I talked about Wentz's pocket presence or lack thereof in a video earlier, but I wanted to make a video about Chase Young specifically because I think that he's just such an exciting player to watch. I'm super excited to see what he's going to do with his career. And now that all 22 footage is finally out, I am definitely going to be making, I figured I'd make a video about him because he did a lot really well. And let's just get into it, and we'll start things off with this play. What's going to happen is that he is going up one-on-one against left tackle Jason Peters, and what's going to happen is that there's also a halfback who is chipping Young. So this means that basically Young typically likes to get to the outside, but since there's a chip, it's going to be very difficult for him to do that, and so that's why they're doing it. It makes sense. And not just that, but this is a really good chip. I mean, look, he's out of position. There's no way that Young is going to get to the outside right here, and Peters is in good position himself. So you'd think that this is a pretty good situation for Philadelphia, but Young is not going to go down that easy. He has another idea. If he's getting chipped to the inside, well, just keep going in that direction. He's going to try to pull off a spin move here, and he is going to successfully pull off a spin move, and he gets right to Wentz, and Wentz actually continues the fight, which results in a fumble, and it was actually Young, if you watch it again. Young was the one who actually swatted the ball out. Just a great play by Chase Young, just incredibly impressive. This was his only full sack he had in this game. He also had another half a sack that I'll get into in a second. That one wasn't quite as impressive, but this one was incredibly impressive, and it really just goes to show what he can do, what he is capable of. And again, keep in mind while watching this video, this is a guy who's playing a position that is historically very difficult to come in and have a great rookie season on. I know last year kind of spoiled us because there were so many good rookies, but typically it takes some time. For Young, it's not taking much time. I like this move, even though it didn't actually account for too much. He's going up one-on-one against Peters. He's going to do a stab and grab move, which is basically just he gets his left hand on Peters' right, basically his right pec. Then Young is going to try and grab Peters' left arm and move that out of the way so he can get by Peters. And watch how right when this starts, he's able to get really good hand placement. This is what he wants. He's able to push Peters back, get him out of the way, and get somewhat in position to try and make a play on Wentz. He didn't have enough time to actually get there. But again, he's applying some pressure. Wentz knows he has to get rid of the ball pretty quickly. He's just in that area, and it's just a good move. And I fully suspect that with that move, he could continue to be successful in the future. Because a lot of what I'm looking at for Young in his first ever game isn't necessarily what did he do that, actually worked in this game. It's more so what can he do that will continue to work in the future. And there were a lot of things. One thing I noticed is that Philadelphia, they paid attention to him, which is pretty crazy considering who else is on this Washington defensive line. Watch this play. He actually has 2 offensive linemen on him right here, which is rare. You typically don't do this, and it's not like this is necessarily designed right from the start. There's a lot of Washington players in the box, so really Philadelphia doesn't know exactly who's going to be rushing the passer and who isn't. But because of the extra attention that's now getting put on Chase Young, this now means that there are 2 one-on-one matchups. One is, Philadelphia's center now has to have a one-on-one matchup, but their center is Jason Kelce, so that's fine. Don't worry about that. The other matchup is now Matt Ioannidis is going up a one-on-one against the guard, and again, that's the real bad situation. It's going to be Matt Ioannidis with a one-on-one matchup. Ioannidis is able to win his matchup against that tackle very well. He creates the pressure. He gets the immediate pressure that results in an incomplete pass. Chase Young did get pretty much taken out of play, but that's because Peters had a much easier time just pushing him behind his quarterback because he knew he had guard help to one side, so all he had to do was worry about the other side. And even with that, I feel like Young still did a pretty decent job. It wasn't a domination by any means, and he helped set up pressure just by him being on the field. This next play was one that I really liked. This was a great play from Young. So what happens, he's going up one-on-one against Peters on the right side of the screen. And what's going to happen technically before the ball is snapped is there's a penalty. There's going to be someone jumps off sides. So, it's a penalty. It's a free play for Philadelphia. But what I like about this is that, so Peters is going to kind of give up on it. He's going to just basically try to push Young away a little bit. It's a penalty. He might not even know who it is on. But you are not going to see any quit in Young. And so watch how Peters tries to push Young back, but Young runs right by him, creates immediate pressure, which results in an interception, actually. Again, it doesn't count. It was a free play. But you know what? Young did a great job of taking away the free play potential. And, if he just sort of just, slowly walks out, then maybe Philadelphia is able to get a big play. So, bad on Peters for not really playing that one out as much. He definitely could have played that one out more. But at the same time, I mean, definitely good job by Chase Young to take advantage of it. That's what I say. Play to the whistle. You never know. I think maybe Peters just thought it was a false start, which is why he did that. But still, if you don't know, just go after them and, play to the whistle. There was no whistle. Peters was able, or Young was able to make a play there. Well, I said I was going to talk about what Young did to get his, half a sack. Well, here's what it was. He's going up one-on-one against Peters yet again. And what you're going to see is that Young is going to, at first, looks like he tries to, almost looks like he tries to bull rush Peters. Doesn't really work out too well. Peters is able to get his hand placement pretty well. Young eventually gets to the outside, though, so that seems like it's good. He finally is able to get his hand placement over, and you see his left arm up. It almost looks like he's maybe considering doing some sort of a swim move or something, but he now notices that Wentz is actually, he alertly realizes, hey, I have room to run now in between my tackle and guard, so I'm going to try and do that. So I think a lot of edge rushers in this moment would continue trying to get to the outside because they just wouldn't realize what's going on, but not Young. Young is going to instead use that left arm to push Peters out of the way, and he ends up helping get the sack and get the fumble right there. That's just a good play by Young, good aware play by Young. Is that the kind of thing that's going to work, consistently, once every game? No, it's not. It's something that maybe will happen a couple of times a season. And it's obviously, in my opinion, way more impressive was his first sack where he just straight up beat a left tackle. But you know what? He did both in this game, so I think, again, very promising. Chase Young's just so good. He's an absolute monster, and especially being on this Washington defensive line, I've kind of always said, like, the two things that you always have a chance to win any game is if you have a great quarterback or a great defensive line. You have a great D-line or a great quarterback, you stand a chance in every game you play in, and because of this defensive line, there isn't a single game that I'm going to say for the rest of the season Washington is definitely going to lose. I could have easily made a video about Ryan Kerrigan as well, but I mean, let's be honest. We all know Ryan Kerrigan is fantastic. I probably could have made a video on Matt Ioannidis as well included, but I mean, I wanted to make a video about the rookie, super hyped up prospect. I love Chase Young. I think he's just a monster. One of the best, just pure prospects in general, regardless of positional value ever. So, Washington, things are looking up and up. What do you guys think about Chase Young and his performance? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.